Welcome back to Meat City Gaming. JD here with another episode of Battle Bites here in World of Tanks. And today I am in the Waffentrager Panzer IV, the Tier 9 turreted German tank destroyer. And we are in a standard battle, Tier 10 battle on mines, my favorite map in the game. So usually on mines, what I'm doing in my mediums and lights and sometimes my heavies is rushing for the center hill in the E4, E5 area. Trying to win that location, influence that location, because if you can secure the mountain or the hill there, in the middle of the map, you can really dominate and influence the outcome of the game. But today, we are in a turreted tank destroyer that is a sniper, not a brawler. So instead, what we're going to do is pull back into this K4 area that can provide cover both down the lighthouse hill and the central hill. And we're going to set up and do a little bit of kemping bush, trying to provide some support for our allies. Now, because the point of this video is to be entertaining and to be fun, and sitting and sniping is not the most dynamic gameplay, what we're going to do is try something a little different. As I take my shots, in between shots, as I'm reloading, waiting for the next shot of opportunity, I'm going to speed up the gameplay a little bit. So right now, the gameplay is running at an accelerated rate until I get close to approaching my next shot. We'll slow things down to normal speed again, and repeat the process until near the end of the battle. Another option is to do like a hard cut in between the shots, but this battle is really close. It goes back and forth in terms of the score, and I don't want to have it be so jarring. I want to see the mini-map. You can see where the tanks are moving. You can see as the scores go back and forth. So I'm going to try this out, but this is the first time I'm doing this, so please give me your feedback. Let me know, does this work? Are there adjustments that you want me to make? Or do you want me to try something different or avoid this type of gameplay altogether? Please let me know, and I will make adjustments accordingly. So we're set up here, we've got our camo net activated, we've got our binoculars activated, we have not been spotted, we've put out 3 good hits, and we're looking for our next shot of opportunity here. And it's the T-71, he's getting a little close for comfort. Boom, 530 damage into him. He is going to be not feeling so brave after that when he's going to pull back. And he's quickly removed from the game. So now I've got a couple of shots here that I take. Thinner shots, not well aimed or at very thin parts of the tanks that we're aiming at here. This shot at the FV was very speculative. I'm not expecting that one to go in, so we do miss a couple, but there's nothing else to shoot at. So I'm taking an opportunity. Here we get a tracking shot in. That might help an ally try to get around the side of that tank. They're just trying to do what we can to assist. There we see an Object 268, the Tier 10 Russian tank destroyer. We put a big hit into him. He's got a really big gun. We don't want to be trading, but we don't have to right now because we're hidden, because we're in the bushes. We can send our shots out, and we're not going to take fire in return because we're not spotted. So there was a Tiger 2 poking, and we put one into him, damaged his engine, took a big chunk of his hit points off. We're really doing a nice job supporting our allies. We're relying on them to do our spotting, to do our tanking for us, and we're using the Waffentrager in the role that suits it best, which is supporting the team, putting out big damage in chunks whenever you can, and not taking fire in return, because the armor on this tank is non-existent on the gun shield and pretty thin everywhere else. So you can see it's 7-8. The scores are very close, and the battle is raging for the hill. That's where this game is going to be won or lost. And oh, here comes a T-95, but he takes 1 big hit, 2 big hits, and we put a 3rd shot in to finish him off. That really could have influenced the outcome of the game there. Having that big tank, if he could have locked in that position and really started bullying the other tanks on the other side of that hill, he could have turned the tide for his team. But took 2 hits that really went through, and mine, that was a frontal shot into one of the most heavily armored tanks in the game, and we found a point to go through. The penetration on this gun is extremely high, so that was a fantastic result. Now we're going to get moving here. We saw that the enemy team has a tank destroyer that's pushed down the western flank through the town, and there's nobody between him and our base and our artillery. So we're going to come over here to assist the Death Star on our team, the F1215B. FV215B183 is moving as well. He's going to go support the hill, so I'm going to come over here and try to watch this flank. Now we get lit up, we get spotted, which was a surprise. So we put a little wiggle on just in case the enemy artillery is looking this way. We don't want to give him an easy shot into us. And oh, it's our mirror, the Waffentrager 4 on the enemy team, but he gets taken out before we're able to put any assistance damage into him there. So we can see there's 4 tanks left on the enemy team plus the artillery piece. And we can see all 4 tanks there were on the mini-map for a moment, so we know no one else is over on this side of the map, so we don't need to stay here. We could push to the town and try to provide shots from the side, but this tank's not really a lone wolf. If I got caught out by a heavy that pulled back and went over there, it really wouldn't be a good situation for me. So instead, I'm going to support the rest of my allies here, try to win the hill, and try to advance from there. So we're pushing up with the Death Star. We do have a tank or two up on the central hill as well. So we're going to have a nice opportunity to pincer these tanks. They can't point their guns at all of us at once. And we're going to see what we can do here. So we're advancing, and we see that there's an STI and also a T-34, Tier 8 American tank destroyer, and we get his side as he's looking the other way and remove him from the game. And our allies take out the STI. So now we're in a great position. We're up 12-10. The enemy has 2 TDs left and the artillery. The TDs are both very, very dangerous machines. The Object 268 that we saw earlier, and a Death Star of their own, the FV-215B183 with the biggest non-artillery gun in the game. So we're going to poke down here, and oh, what a great opportunity. The Object 268 is looking to the hill, and we have a shot into the front of his tank, and now he's a one-hit. We pull back. We're going to go for our reload here, and as soon as we're reloaded, we're going to get back in. We can trade with this guy. We don't want to do a free hit, but if we have to take him out right now, I would make that trade. But he's pulled back a little bit, and now he's behind cover there up near the lighthouse. So instead, what we're going to do is advance farther towards the enemy base, and there is another little break in the rocks up here that we'll be able to see if we can thread a shot down into the Object 268. We have a Bat Chat on our team, a friendly Bat Chat, Tier 10 French medium tank, and he's pushing up. He's lit up the FV-215B183, and soon there's the artillery piece as well. So he's got both of those tanks lit up, which we can then... We can't shoot at from here. I'm looking for a shot, but we're not quite tall enough to get over. It looks like our friendly artillery might have splashed him there for just a little bit of damage, but oh, this worked out well. There's the Object 268. He's looking back at the Bat Chat. We put one into his side and remove him from the game. So the Bat Chat's doing some work up there. He's unloading his clip. It looks like he balances one, puts some damage in. Is he going to be able to get rid of one of these tanks? We're looking for a shot on the Death Star, and at the same time, the artillery shotguns the Bat Chat. So we let our shot go, and it just tracks the 183. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, Artie, he's tracked. Get him. Get him, Artie. Artie? Well, I'm not quite sure what happened here. At the time, I was a little worried the artillery was AFK because he's not putting a shot into the tracked tank there. I do see him move on the minimap later, and we do see he did some nice damage as well throughout the game. So he was not AFK, either had just fired or didn't quite have a shot at the 183. So the artillery is relocating. Now, I don't really want to give the Death Star a free hit at me, or the artillery. I mean, if the Death Star hits my turret, which is non-armored, and he's using those big Hess shells, he could remove me from the game with a high roll in one hit. Or if he hits me and tracks me, the artillery could take me out. So we're going to play a little cautiously here. Thankfully, we are supported by a T-110E4, the American turreted Tier 10 tank destroyer. So he's up on the hill. He's looking for shots down into there. And I see, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to try and flank. We're going to come down the side of the hill here. We'll poke, see if we can get our gun out there, if we can put some spots or damage in. And if not, we'll go all the way to the west and come up from a different angle on these guys. But before I get there, the T-110E4 takes out the Death Star. That changes everything. Now we're in good position. We can just push forward here, try and spot the artillery. We don't really want to take a hit from him, but we probably can if we need to. But there he is. He's in the open. We're going to aim. Shot goes in, removes him from the game, and what a great result for the team here on Mines in this Tier 10 battle. They really played a nice influence on the outcome of the battle. They really used the Waffentrager 4 to its strengths, and at the end helped clean up, which is something you can do because this tank is pretty mobile. So there we go. We see 5,100 damage with another 1,650 assistance damage. We racked 55,000 silver for that game with no assistance from the operations, just from our premium account, and 7,600 XP. And that was, of course, assisted for the 2 operations that we completed there, helping to push that total really high. But it certainly makes the grind to the Waffentrager E100 much shorter when you can put a game like that up on the boards. So we also secured some great medals. We got the fighter for our 4 kills. We got a high caliber in a Tier 9 machine and a Tier 10 tank, which is or a Tier 10 match, which is always great. Of course, the Waffentrager is made for damage. That's what it does, but still nice to be able to secure that. And a first-class mastery badge. We'll see here in just a moment what kind of base XP we put up to get that first-class mastery badge, but definitely a good result. And here we can flip through the enemy tank list, and we can see we influenced a lot of enemy tanks, whether we were putting in shots or damaging modules or taking them out completely. Played a really nice role there throughout the battle. So quick look at the detailed stats. We can see there it is, 1,644 base XP. Really, really nice result here in the Waffentrager, but that's not enough for a mastery badge. This tank is deadly in the hands of a lot of people that use it and use it very well. So we can see that we fired 17 shots, and of those 17, 13 hit. We did have a couple of speculative shots in the mid-game there, and of our 13 hits, all 13 penetrated, which is really nice in a Tier 10 game, including that one shot into the T95. The penetration on the Waffentrager 4 is very, very good. And so that was on our way to our 5,000 plus damage, 1,650 assistance damage, which netted us the 55,000 silver and 7,600 XP. So hopefully you enjoyed that game, found it interesting to watch. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.